The New York Mets made a trade today. We acquired Keon Broxton from the Milwaukee Brewers. The Mets have also gone out and signed Hector Santiago. They got Rymer Liriano. They got Arquimedes Caminero. There's a lot of moves to talk about, but that's why you watched this video. That's why you clicked on it. We're going to be talking about all the moves the Mets have made in the past week or so, including the moves today. I'll give you my thoughts. I'll give you my opinions on it, so stick around and see what I have to say. If you guys do like these videos and you want to see more of them, make sure to leave a like on it. If you're a Mets fan, especially leave a like. I mean, come on, let's go Mets. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you enjoy the content. We don't just cover the Mets on here, we cover all things baseball. So if you like Major League Baseball, you're a baseball nut just like me, subscribe to the channel. And get in that comment section down below. Let me know what you think about all the moves the Mets have made. Do you like the trades? Do you like the signings? What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Let's have a conversation. And lastly, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GiraffeNeckMarc. Links in the description. We talk about the Mets over there. We talk about baseball. It's a great way to interact with me. Now, I wasn't planning on making this video today. In fact, I have a Major League Baseball logo video that I plan on putting out later, so make sure you check back for that. But the Mets made some moves today, and I think you guys probably want to see my opinion on it because I'm a pretty passionate Mets fan. I'm usually pretty tough on the Mets, and I usually have a very strong opinion with the moves that they make. None of the moves that the Mets made today are major moves. Like, there's nothing like signing Bryce Harper, then signing Manny Machado, getting Adam Ottavino, nothing like that. But they could have some big impact for the Mets' future in 2019. So the first move we're talking about is the latest move, which is the Mets traded for Keon Broxton for the Milwaukee Brewers. In exchange for Broxton, they sent over Bobby Wahl, Adam Hill, and Felix Valerio. Bobby Wahl, of course, we acquired from the Oakland A's last summer at the trade deadline for Jeurys Familia. He pitched a few games for the Mets last year. Overall, I don't care. From what I saw from Bobby Wahl last year, here's what it is. It's a guy who throws kind of hard, but he doesn't throw a lot of strikes. And when he does, well, he throws it right down the middle and the dude gets shelled. He had a problem last year. I was not a big fan of Bobby Wahl. In 7 appearances last year for the Mets, in 5.1 innings, he had a 10.13 ERA. So yes, he gave up 6 runs in 5 innings. He had a whip of 2.4, which I understand. It's a very small sample size, and the dude has a history of injuries. He was coming back from one. But for a guy to give up 9 hits, as well as walk 4 batters in 5 innings, is something that I am not interested in. And it's not like the dude's super young. I mean, he's going into his 27-year-old season, and the dude has a history of injuries. I mean, he was hurt with Oakland. He got hurt with us at the end of the year, ended on the DL. It's not like he was this top prospect. I think he was like around 30 or 29 on our top 30 list. So essentially, we trade Jeurys Familia for these guys, got Familia back, then flipped Bobby Wahl for Keon Broxton, along with 2 other pitchers. I can't be too upset. Next pitcher we're talking about is Adam Hill, former University of South Carolina Gamecock, just like myself, so I hate to see him go. He was great at the University of South Carolina, one of our better pitchers. He was drafted in the 4th round last year by the New York Mets. Pitched for the Brooklyn Cyclones last year and actually did pretty well. 9 games, he only had a 2.35 ERA in 15 innings. He had a strikeout per 9 of 15.3, which is unbelievable, but he did give up a few hits. He had a 1.5 whip because he gave up 9.4 hits per 9, and he also walked 4.9 per 9. So control was a little bit of an issue here. He has great stuff. He is young, but right now he does not seem like he's part of the future for the Mets, and getting a guy like Keon Broxton can help them win now. Don't worry, we'll talk about Keon Broxton soon. We just want to talk about one more guy before we get into him. And I think I might have called him a pitcher earlier, but he's not. He's actually second baseman Felix Valero. He's a very small dude. I mean, the dude's 5'7", 165. That's smaller than me, just keep in mind. Not weight-wise, but height-wise. He's 18 years old. He's super young, so of course he could get bigger, but there's not a whole lot known about this Felix Valerio guy. In 67 games last year in the Dominican Summer League for the Mets, again, this kid is super young, so the upside could be huge on him, but at the same time, he's not going to be a part of the Mets' future for quite some time. But he actually had a pretty good season. He had 17 doubles in 67 games. He had 3 homers, 22 RBIs, stole 16 bases, so he has a little bit of speed. 319 batting average, 409 on base, slugging not much because, again, he's not a power hitter. But he's a young player. Unfortunately for the Mets, he doesn't seem like he's a part of the future for quite some time, probably 3 or 4 years. So to trade him, Adam Hill, and Bobby Wahl for Keon Broxton, I'm honestly okay with. Now let's talk about Keon Broxton because he's a very interesting player. He's 28 years old, and a big key with this, and I think one of the reasons why they got him is 1, he's fantastic defensively, and 2, he's still pre-arbitration eligible, so he's making the league minimum right now. Defensively, he's one of the best center fielders in all of baseball. I mean, the dude had one of the highest defensive runs saved last year, and he only played in 51 games. Because let me tell you, when you look at his offensive numbers, oh boy, he is an interesting player to say the least. Not great offensively. He's appeared in 276 games in his career, lifetime 221 hitter, 313 on base, 421 slugging. In 2017, he had a career high, which is really the season where he played the most. Played 143 games in 2017. He hit 20 home runs, 15 doubles, 4 triples, 220 average, 299 on base, 420 slugging, OPS of 719. Last year, he had some injuries as well as being sent up and down from the minors last year because he really was struggling. Plus, they got Lorenzo Cain. But in 51 games, 4 homers, 2 doubles, 2 triples. He hit 179 with a 281 on base, 410 slugging, 691 OPS. So Keon Broxton is not the future of the Mets. He is not this center fielder that we're getting. We're like, oh, we got a guy who's got a lot of talent at the plate. No, we're getting him for defense. Defensively, he is elite. He is fantastic out there. I mean, he has made some crazy plays in center field. It's just at the plate, well, he's not very good. He's essentially a worse version of Juan Lagares at the plate, and pretty comparable defensively. He might even be better, but that's, you know, still crazy because Juan Lagares is a Gold Glove center fielder, and he has an absolute cannon out there. Again, it's just a matter of can Juan Lagares stay healthy? So if we gave up a lot for Keon Broxton, I would be upset because I'm like, man, his numbers offensively are garbage. I mean, this is terrible offensive numbers. And I know some people will bring up his splits against left-handed pitchers to say he's better against them, but he hits 234 against them. That's not anything to brag about. But giving up nothing for him, I'm okay with it. But it brings up an interesting scenario because Juan Lagares, as we know, Mets center fielder as of right now, injury problems. He's okay at the plate. He's nothing great. He's probably like a 250 hitter at best, or realistically, I should say. Gold Glove outfielder, we know that. But he's making $9 million next season, and Keon Broxton is making the league minimum. The Mets could go out, trade Juan Lagares, get rid of him, get rid of that $9 million. They could then use that extra $9 million to go get maybe some bullpen arms, because we know the Mets still need some help in the bullpen, or they could use that money to go get some starting pitching, maybe use that money to go get an actual starting center fielder that's more legitimate than Juan Lagares or Keon Broxton. So if you think about it from that standpoint, this trade is actually not that bad, because Keon Broxton, let's be honest, and let's hope, I pray that he is our backup outfielder. He's not going to be a starting center fielder. I mean, Brody has come out that he's going to be a part of the future of the Mets for quite some time. He's going to add depth to that outfield, which I think is a key word there because he's using the word depth, not starter. So hopefully he's going to be part of that depth with Rajai Davis, with Gregor Blanco, Keon Broxton. That's a nice little bit of depth to have in the outfield. Not to mention we also got Rymer Liriano a few days ago as a free agent, who again is nothing special, but at one point in his career he was a top 50 prospect in Major League Baseball. Now Liriano has never done anything in Major League Baseball. He's only played 59 games in total. It was with the Angels last year, but he didn't get in any time. He's been a part of the White Sox, the Padres. He's been all over the place. But I'll give him credit. In the minor leagues, he's a decent hitter. You know, he's hit 20 home runs in a season. He's hit 270. He's a 270 hitter in AAA, 260 in AA. So he's probably more of that 260, 250 hitter. As a backup, again, it's completely fine. I'm okay with it. Add some outfield depth. I also mentioned the Mets got a reliever, Arquimedes Caminero. Yeah, that's quite the name. I love the name already. The dude throws absolute heat. I mean, like 101, 102. But of course, with someone who throws absolute heat, you can probably figure out what the problem has been for him, and that's control. Over his career, he averages 4 walks per 9 innings and 8.6 hits per 9 to give him a career whip of 1.4, which as a reliever isn't fantastic. He was with Pittsburgh and Seattle last year. Yeah, he's all over the place. His ERA was in the mid-3s, but at the end of the day, he's walking too many batters and giving up too many hits for the quality of stuff he has. I mean, the dude throws absolute gas, and he has a filthy slider. So hopefully the Mets can figure him out, get him under control, get him throwing more accurately, because he has all the stuff in the world. It's just a matter of getting that under control. And for a guy who could just be another bullpen arm for us, I'm really okay with it. I like guys who have this potential here. Because, man, I'm sick and tired of seeing Paul Sewald. I'm sick and tired of seeing all these guys that the Mets have in the bullpen, Jacob Rame, who just can't do anything. So let's give Caminero a shot. Why not? And then the last bit of news that we'll talk about with the Mets is getting Hector Santiago, which again, on paper, isn't like this glamorous move, but it's a nice move for the Mets for 2 reasons. 1, he adds bullpen depth, and 2, he has been a starting pitcher before. Go back to 2015, Hector Santiago was an all-star for the Los Angeles Angels as a starting pitcher. Pitched in 33 games that year, 32 started, had 3.59 ERA. He's a crafty lefty. He's not going to blow anything by you. He's not going to strike you out 100 times. He pitches to contact, but he really is pretty solid. Now, last year with the White Sox, he did have a walk problem, 5.3 walks per 9. That is definitely an issue. But as a guy for bullpen depth, as a guy for starting pitching depth, which is something that the Mets are struggling with, because right now, after the starting 5, it's Seth Lugo and Robert Gesellman, but Gesellman's really more of a bullpen guy. At least this is a guy who could fill in if we need it. Not to mention he's a local guy. He's from New Jersey. I actually played against his younger brother, TJ Santiago. The dude threw absolute heat. So I don't hate this move. Again, it's a low-risk move for the Mets. They're paying these guys absolutely nothing. They're adding depth. This is stuff that the Mets have struggled with in the past. We're no longer going to have to hopefully see Corey Oswalt or PJ Conlon or some of these other guys come up when they're clearly not ready yet. So overall, I'm okay with the Mets moves. There's nothing crazy here. This isn't going to make them the favorite in the National League East. But I did this video to give you my opinion on it because I think you guys probably do care a little bit what I have to say. As well as I can maybe give you a little bit of insight on what the Mets plans seem to be for the future with these players. As always, if you guys do enjoy these videos, make sure to leave a like on it. Get in that comment section down below. Let me know what you think about all these Mets moves. And subscribe to the channel if you're new and you enjoy baseball content. We don't just talk about the Mets, we do it all. Lastly, don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GiraffeNeckMarc. Links in description. Follow me on Instagram. I want more followers. That's going to be the end of this video. YouTube recommends you watch this video right here, as well as this is my most recent upload. So if you haven't seen any of these, click them, watch the video, support the channel. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.